Nina Gopal, senior journalist who tracks developments in Sri Lanka. Shashi Danatunge is former chairperson of the Civil Aviation Authority of Sri Lanka. Amjad Moulana is an activist and protester associated with the Aragalaya. And Dr. Mahendran Thiruvarangan is a senior lecturer at the University of Jaffna. Let me start with you, Mr. Danatunge. Is the writing on the wall now, as far as Ranil Wickremesinghe is concerned, would he be much better off sensing the will of the people, and that is that he too should step down and allow somebody new to be acting president? You may have to unmute yourself, Mr. Danatunge.
Sorry, do you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Go
All
ahead.
right, okay, sorry. Yeah, so of course, Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe will have to take a quick decision with regard to his continuation in this position as the acting president. Obviously, because the mandate isn't there from the people out on the streets, as well as even in the parliament. How he has taken this position of the prime minister is also not being accepted. Because as per the constitution, it's very clear, it says, when you are appointing a prime minister, it has to be a person who will be accepted by majority of the people in the parliament, which was not the case in his case of appointment as well. So to your question, whether he has to take a decision of quitting, actually it has to be done at the right time without succumbing to the demands what is being made by those people in the Aragalaya, because we have to follow the constitution and the laws of the country becomes first. And we cannot allow the country to be in a situation where there are no heads of state or prime minister. So therefore, it has to be done at the right time.
Let me ask Amjad Moulana, your protest at the Aragalaya began as, Gota Gogama, which means Gota needs to go home. And then, of course, it extended to the wider Rajapaksa clan, who was seen as the faces of the problem, the folks who got Sri Lanka to this political and economic mess that it finds itself in today. But why are the protesters today angry against Ranil Wickremesinghe as well? Because they laid siege to his office, so much so there is now emergency. He's apparently told the military to do whatever it takes to get the situation under control. Aren't the protesters also worried about allowing the country to descend into anarchy?
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, the goal here is to actually build a better country for all of us. And the protesters are very aware of that, and that is our primary objective. The reason why we started this struggle was because of the harsh suffering and oppression that we had faced by the leaders of this country. Obviously, a lot of that power was centered around the Rajapaksas, particularly with Gotabaya Rajapaksa and his brother Mahinda and so on and so forth. However, in the last few months, when Ranil Wickremesinghe also assumed the role of prime minister, and as Mr. Danatunge also alluded to, he did come in somewhat through the back door. He was not elected to parliament, and he does not command a confidence in parliament. So we did see that the measures that he took after coming into the role of prime minister was very much to protect the Rajapaksas. The Rajapaksa brothers, their family, and so on and so forth, up until the very last minute, up until early this morning. It was pretty obvious that Ranil Wickremesinghe was the one behind the scenes directing the entire operation and ensuring that Gotabaya Rajapaksa had a safe exit from the country. On top of that, on July 9th, it was made very clear by Ranil Wickremesinghe in a tweet that he put out that he too will be stepping down as prime minister, in keeping with the mandate of the people, in keeping with the mandate of the protest. I want to disagree with what Mr. Danatunge said. The Constitution does have provisions in the event. We have the order of succession. If the Prime Minister resigns prior to the resignation of the President, then it passes on to the Speaker of Parliament. And that was the agreed upon structure that was publicized at that point in time. So when we saw that Ranil Wickremesinghe had gone ahead and become the acting president by appointment by Gotabaya Rajapaksa, it created a lot of confusion and a lot of fury that these were all political games that we've been facing all this time, and which is the reason why these protests escalated to this level.
Okay.